how has it come to this? And how is it that even now, with a prime minister who's a human rights lawyer, we're having to take action to protect the human rights of so many people who are taking action to protect human rights? It's insane. So yeah, I'm Gill. I'm a mother of daughters aged 19 and 21. I've been an English teacher for over 20 years. And as of 2 days ago, I'm a convicted criminal because I walked on Whitehall in a mum's march for about 15 minutes in November. But this isn't about me. I want to talk just very briefly about a friend who, following on from John talking about Heathrow, my friend Adam was arrested. He was one of those cycling around the perimeter fence of Heathrow not so long ago. He was held on remand. He has now served 8 weeks on remand. He's one of 5 people still on remand there. His court case has been timed for January. He will be held on remand until then. He was denied bail on the same day that the government asked courts not to give people custodial sentences when convicted, if at all possible. He was denied bail that day. He's kept in a cell 23 hours out of 24 at Wormwood Scrubs. And this week, the charge that the CPS is bringing against those people has changed from one that had a maximum of 1 year sentence to one that now is the conspiracy to cause public nuisance, maximum of 10 years. So sorry, I didn't intend to say that, but it just seems very relevant to where we are now, and I feel I should speak for those people. Everything that's going on in the courts at the moment is about the truth, and it's about power and the conflict between those two things. The truth is, it's really simple. Burning fossil fuels, sorry, I'm talking from the perspective of Just Stop Oil, and I agree with everything that's been said about Palestine action. If we care about life, we care about both. The truth is that burning fossil fuels has given us a world which is burning and flooding in equal measure just this week, where people are dying in extreme conditions, where extreme weather conditions are occurring daily, weekly, where land is becoming inhospitable, where crops are failing on every continent, where we face the end of our food supplies and societal breakdown globally. But power. Unfortunately, power is in the hands of those who profit from the perpetuation of this destruction and who will deploy their wealth, and I use the word deploy on purpose, to exercise power over politicians and the media and every single living thing on this planet. And these people they absolutely need for their survival to suppress the truth. And that is what we're seeing day in, day out in our courts and on our streets. Because the biggest threat to their wealth and power is actually the truth. Because when people know the truth, when we're well informed, when the public is actually well informed, we make sensible decisions. It's been proven time and time again. And yet here we are arrested for telling the truth. The jury is deprived of hearing the truth. The public is deprived of hearing the truth in order that these people can protect their own power. 12 years ago, I worked on the autobiography of Sir John Horton, who was one of the founders of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And through that, I had the privilege of looking at the transcripts of things like the Madrid meeting. When the science was emerging, it was becoming more and more certain. But unfortunately, the science had done what every child knows you mustn't do, and it had awakened a sleeping giant of the fossil fuel industry. And that was when you saw them starting to leverage, starting to take action, starting to destroy the careers of scientists. And it's happened from there. He also told me, Jill, he said, we've got 15 years in order to change this round. That was 12 years ago. And he said, after that, it will be out of human control. And so that's why so many people are desperate. Once you understand, you need to take action. And that's why people are in prison, because they understand that. So let's not be naive about this. Environmental defenders and similarly Palestine Action people are not arrested for what we do, for the fact we held up traffic for 13 minutes. We are arrested because we're telling the truth and that we're therefore presenting a challenge and a threat to those who have the power and for some reason want to perpetuate that power. I don't know when they'll ever have enough, but that's where we're at. So for a minute, I realised now that the people here represent the independent media. But I'm saying to other media people who might tune into this and watch the recording, I want to turn my spotlight onto the media for a minute. What role has the media played in suppressing the truth? You know, they must bear responsibility for decades of that, for undermining the science, for pretending everything's going to be okay, for telling us not to worry our pretty little heads about it. And in that, they have to therefore bear some of the responsibility that people find it necessary to take non-violent, and I stress non-violent direct action in order for the truth to be told. It's because of that that people feel they have to do that. You know, what is it, 65,000 on Parliament Square in the big one last year, barely any coverage from the media. You are therefore responsible for people making the decision to take non-violent direct action. And you should also bear some responsibility, I think, for the vilification of people who are trying to care for, whether that's the environment, whether that's for what's going on in Gaza. You have vilified us successfully. Not everybody, but certainly where you only have to look at the headlines in the right-wing media, GB News and that stuff, we've been vilified. And because we're vilified, it is so much easier for the fossil fuel industry to leverage governments and courts to then criminalize us. And you bear responsibility for that. And so you often say to us, yes, we understand that climate change is serious, but do you really understand the timescale of that? Because if you did, why on earth do you continue playing your games? Why is the media still playing games? And so I think with these actions coming up and this defend our jury action, you have the opportunity to make a very, very important decision. Because if you do tell the truth, the public eye will turn at last, at long last, and at this very last minute that it's going to be worth it, to those making immense profits from the continued destruction of our only home. And your choice is, are you going to continue as you have done in suppressing the truth and telling, well, not telling lies, but in not telling the truth and vilifying us, or actually going to make a stand, think of your own children and tell the truth and join us in telling the truth and hope that those people will no longer be imprisoned and maybe the right people will be. Thank you.